What is going on, people inside that internet machine? Welcome to this episode of the Pickups. Listen, we got some free stuff. We got a whole stack of games. Nintendo Direct happened, I guess. So let's talk about that. All right, so hit up my local thrift store, my local St. Vincent de Paul. Of course, they put out the cart of free books and media and everything else. Grabbed a stack of VHS, again, absolutely free. Tyler wants The Great Outdoors. This is sealed, but this is actually a reseal. And what was funny is there were more VHS in the cart, you know, like a lot more, like 3 copies of Wayne's World and like 4 copies of Ace Ventura. But you could tell someone donated it, because they're done reselling. So, yeah, anyway, yeah, so you can see the titles there. Silver Streak, not as funny as I thought it would be, but, you know, Dick Tracy, Lady Hawk, Rising Sun is real good. So, yeah, grab those. I did pay for 2. I got Madonna, Truth or Dare. I'll give that a watch, and then I will flip that. And I've been looking for this movie forever. Unlawful Entry. It's one of my favorite movies from, you know, like the mid-90s. It's got Kurt Russell, Madeleine Stowe, Ray Liotta. He plays like this like psycho cop that's trying to embed himself into their marriage and get Kurt Russell, get the husband out of the way. Very, very crazy. But Madeleine Stowe, man, 90s hot. Super hot. Also picked up, you know, some CDs and DVDs like I normally do. I don't really do a lot of CDs just because, you know, when people ask me like about selling, like people at work ask me about reselling, and we get into just talking about media mail shipping, and we start sort of going down this path of, you know, media is cheap to buy, and the return on investment can be great. For example, you know, like Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace, the soundtrack, I actually got this for $1 because it was half off. Let's say this is like $10, so you're getting 10 times your ROI. But I think what people don't realize is that this would sit for like 3 years on your eBay store. You know what I mean? And you'd have to send offers of like $7.99, $6.99 just to get rid of it. But the hold time on media is a lot sometimes, you know. And then there's so much out there. You can't be a subject matter expert on everything. So you need to sort of maybe pick a couple categories and get good at that. But anyway, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace soundtrack. I got this for Tyler. He's a big... It's so funny. You know, there's about a 10-year gap in our ages. And I'm an OG Star Wars original trilogy mark. Love it. And because he was born like 10 years later, you know, in 1999, he was like 11 or 12. And The Phantom Menace is what he grew up with. So he loves that. You know, CNC Music Factory. This is one of those radio station samplers, which is great. Those always seem to sell pretty well. Yeah, I can't remember ever seeing this before. Cool Runnings. So, yeah, that's going right into the collection, man. Who doesn't love Cool Runnings? And then I usually buy a lot of, this is the type of stuff media I sell when it comes to DVDs. These are more of your specialty type DVDs, you know, like this is a PBS Unusual Buildings, you know, that's still sealed. Somebody in education may want that. You know, documentaries, things that never got printed to like Blu-ray, like The Murderers Are Among Us. I'm guessing this is about Nazis in America after the war or something. But yeah, I also grabbed like Woodstock 94 on CD, Adam Sandler on CD. What else? Oh, some Led Zeppelin. So yeah, that was just sort of the media stuff. And I get it, like some of you guys don't really care about the media stuff. You're here for the video game stuff, but understand that I sell a lot of media to pay for the video game stuff. And also it kind of leads into what we're getting ready to talk about, right? Nintendo Direct. Switch 2 looks like it's coming out in June of 2025, which is, I guess, is great if you care about that kind of thing. I don't buy consoles when they are released. It looks like this thing's going to be about $440. And then what really sort of irked me was there's going to be a Mario Kart World bundle that comes with a copy of Mario Kart World for like $480 or $490, but it's a digital copy. Like Nintendo, do you remember when you used to pack in games? It doesn't seem that long ago that you were still doing that. Like even with the Wii U, wasn't there like a Mario 3D World, whatever. But anyway, so here's got a couple problems here. Launch a console with a game, like just a physical version of the game. The second thing is the IPs that you're kind of giving us. Like, we're getting a new Mario Kart, and I guess that's great, but you're also like remaking Breath of the Wild and remaking Tears of the Kingdom, which is fine for a remake, but like your launch lineup for new games is not great, you know? And the other thing that has been sort of talked about, and I think this is probably the most poignant thing to come out of the Nintendo Direct, is that, you know, Mario Kart World looks like it's gonna be like $80, okay? Now, in a way, I watched 8-Bit Eric's video, and in a way, he's absolutely right. Nintendo runs point on this. They set the standard, so everybody else will now be raising their game prices to that price point. Even like Grand Theft Auto 6 they've already said this is going to be like $100 game for the standard version. But I think Nintendo's doing this for a couple of reasons. The first is, will you pay $80 for a first-party Nintendo game? If you will, Nintendo will always take your money, because that's who they are. They will not give you anything for free or at a discount. So if you're willing to pay $10 more, they will gladly take your $10 more. The other thing, and I think this is a little bit more sinister, is that they want to see if you're not going to buy it. Because if you're not going to buy first-party Nintendo games at the $80 price point, they can say, well, it cost $80 to sell you a physical copy and nobody bought them, so I guess we're gonna have to go all digital since nobody's buying these physical products. And they're trying to trap you into buying, digital versions of these games. And I also like how they snuck in there a wireless, Bluetooth sort of new age controller style GameCube controller, which I find very interesting, because how many games actually are going to require or enhance the game experience with a GameCube controller, unless they're getting ready to dump a whole bunch of GameCube games on their store, you know, all the really good first party stuff, you know, the Mario Karts, Mario Soccers, Mario Sunshine, the Zeldas, you know what I mean? And how is that going to affect physical GameCube prices? I guess we'll see. But I personally think the GameCube controller is a little bit overrated, but you do kind of need that controller set up for a lot of those games. But I don't know why this is needed. I don't know why we need a GameCube controller for a modern console. Maybe like Smash Bros or something. I don't know. I don't play Smash Bros, but if you guys play Smash Bros, let me know. Is the Nintendo GameCube controller better for Smash Bros than the Switch controller, you know, the Pro controller or whatever it is? Not the Joy-Cons, but, you know, the whole controller. I don't know, but it was all sort of suspect. All in all, I wasn't really that impressed with the Nintendo Switch Direct. You know, you get Metroid Prime 4, which is, you know, people like Prime. I'm of the camp that, you know, Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania, and Metroid are absolutely 100% better in a 2D environment. That's just me. I've got nostalgia rose-colored glasses on because I grew up in the 80s and I grew up with those particular franchises in that particular format. And I don't really care for the 3D ones that much. Speaking of 3D, my favorite Nintendo IP, the Donkey Kong, is coming out in, July or August of 2025. So not too far behind the Switch release. And looks like it's going to be a 3D action platform game with some 2D levels in it. You know, you get all that barrel blasting 2D Donkey Kong excitement, which is fine. You know, sort of rehashing what Rareware did with the game franchise on the N64 with Donkey Kong 64. It kind of looks like that type of game with the 2D stuff mixed in. But, you know, I love Donkey Kong. I don't think this is a reason for me to go out and spend $450 to buy a Switch. So I will be playing this game much later into the future, you know, 6-7 years from now, when the console prices are down and the games are cheap and nobody wants them. I just think a Donkey Kong game should be lighthearted, bouncy, fun, destructive environments. and, you know, entertaining from that aspect. So that's sort of what I'm expecting in a decade when I actually play that game. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the Nintendo Direct live stream? Leave your comments down below. That would be awesome. We got some video game stuff that we picked up, so let's check that out. So I think in these videos, I definitely want to start talking a little bit about the games that I beat, at least mentioning them. So I don't remember where we left off. So knocked off Batman off my list for the Sega Genesis. This is a very good game. It's not as difficult for sure as the NES version, even though you do get a limited amount of continues in this game. It follows the movie really well. The graphics are great. The bosses are a little cheesy. You can kind of stand in the same spot and just hit them or do the same thing over and over. Like I'm holding my pinky up like it's Grey Poupon. But yeah, there's a Batmobile stage. There's a Batwing level stage. It's really good. It only took a couple hours to really learn the levels. There's, other than the 2 vehicle stages, I want to say there's only like 4 or 5 platforming levels. And the first one is always going to be easy. It's kind of straightforward. But yeah. And then Genesis game, another one, took out Valis 3. I think I'm done playing Genesis for the year. Valis 3, really fun game. I'm glad that I was introduced to the Valis series this year. I got Super Valis 4 on Super Nintendo, beat that one. And it's probably not a game that I had patience for when I was a kid. But being the mature and experienced gamer that I am, I've really found an appreciation for the Valis series. I think it's really interesting, and the graphics are great, the music's great, and when you figure it out, when you figure out which weapon to use on which boss and all the patterns and stuff, it's really great. Oh, by the way, a complete copy of Batman, before we get to the last game, a complete copy of Batman on the Genesis is really, really expensive. I don't know why it's hard to get complete in box with the mint condition manual. It just is. It's just one of those things. But Mr. Matthews sent me a picture because he has a complete in-box copy. And I'll put the picture like right here or something. On the back of the Genesis box art, they used 2 screenshots from the NES game. How crazy is that, right? Only in the late 80s, early 90s video game would something like that happen. Like Mario 3, where they put on the back of the box a level that doesn't even exist in the game. All right, a game that I beat last weekend, I wanted to rip my freaking hair out. Wings of War. Jeez, oh Pete, man, it's a shooter. It's 5 stages, and then the last stage is like a mini boss rush, and then the final boss. But it's made by DreamWorks, and DreamWorks had these stupid white labels. But holy crap, why do you need to make a game that hard? Let me try and put this into perspective. You know Death Ray and Gradius, right? That's really the way you got to do it. Gradius is a tough game. You 1CC'd Silver Surfer. That game can be tough. Silver Surfer can be tough. You beat Life Force, Abadox, Gunnak, Zanak, Image Fight, all these shooters, and that's great. But I will challenge anybody. Get past Stage 3 in Wings of War on easy mode. Just put the game on easy mode. Try and get past Stage 3. Here's the real problem with Wings of War, guys. In a shooter, the stages are, they're going to show you the gimmick, show you the background, here's some new enemies, boss fight. Wings of War, the average stage length of that game is 6.5 minutes. You have got to be on in bullet hell for 6.5 minutes. You get 3 lives, like 4 continues, and then you got to start over. It's like 3 minutes, mini boss. 3 minutes, final boss for the stage. It is incredibly difficult. And when you have that obligatory level that's like red or, the fire stage or something, and then the enemy bullets are the same color, it is absolutely maddening because you don't know what hit you. Like, why did I die there? And then the other thing is, one of my big pet peeves in shoot 'em ups is speed power-ups, because if you're gonna put a speed power-up in there, then you need to have a down speed power-up, to sort of balance the game out a little bit, because if you don't want another speed power up and it's on the screen, it's now acting as a barrier or blockade on the screen. It's basically a stagnant enemy that you have to work around. So I don't like speed power ups. This game, if you're too fast, you're gonna die. But you do pick up right where you left off, and you only downgrade 1 in power. But Wings of War, if you're like, oh yeah, I know Deathran, Silver Surfer, and Gradius, no problem. Put this on easy mode, okay? And then try and get past level 3. Give it 2 or 3 days, and then get back to me. It's fucking brutal. But anyway, those are the games that I've been picking up. Let's take a look. No, those are games I've been playing. Let's take a look at the games that I've been picking up. All right, so before we get to the stack of games, I want to show you this because I thought it was really cool. Like, in the last episode, it was like 2015, man. We go to the thrift store and we find GameCube games. This was like one of those finds. This is, oh God. Where you go to the thrift store and you're like kind of looking through little bags of Hot Wheels because, if you see one red line in there, it's totally worth it. G1 Transformer wide load right there. On a $20 action figure. It was $3 today, so I don't know if any of the other Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels in there are worth anything, but very cool. It'll be on the toy channel, so I'm not gonna dump the bag and go through it like I normally do, but yeah, it just kind of folds up and out and, just one of those real simple Transformers from the 80s. But I thought that was super cool. And then right next to it on the shelf, Lego does not do this anymore. This is a plastic container, sarcophagus from like the Treasure Hunters or Treasure Raiders series. And in 1998, this was 20 bucks. Today I got it for $2. And then you unscrew the bottom and all the Lego parts and pieces are in there. So I'll put that together. But this thing came with like 4 minifigures. This was essentially like a Star Wars battle pack. And now you get 4 minifigures and like 20 parts. This thing came with 4 minifigures, like 100 parts, and this really cool storage case for your Legos. But yeah, I thought that was crazy because I saw it and I was like walking towards it. I'm like, what in the hell is that? Is that a Lego? Like I had to like look and make sure it was an actual Lego brand. But all right, so while I was at the thrift store, okay, I made 2 mistakes here, guys. 2 rookie mistakes. In their case, they had some PS3 games, nothing crazy, but they had a disc-only copy of Minecraft for $7. I had like $1.50 in rewards points. I'm gonna get it for $5.50. And I got the case and manual in my doubles bin over there. So I'm gonna put this together and I'm gonna sell it for $20. That was my thing. The problem is, guys, this doesn't go for $20 anymore. This goes for like $12. So I spent $5 to, now I'm gonna have to try and get like 12 out of it. I'll probably just wait and trade it in at GameStop when they have it for 12. And then the disc is in really good shape, but I get home and I realize that my case is all torn up. So I should have just given this to like Maxine's Bargain Box when I did my trade-in, because they probably would have given me like $3 or $4 for the case. So I screwed up twice on that. Case is in terrible condition, wrong price, and what else did I do? Oh yeah, well, I paid too much for it. So I did 3 things wrong. Terrible. Hey, listen, I'm the worst YouTuber of all time, right? So I go over to the flea market on Main. Last stop today, we'll get out of here. Oh, I did get a VCR DVD combo, which was nice. Came with the remote. I'm gonna flip that on Facebook for like $50. Flea market on Main. They've got games in there. It's a lot of games, common stuff, been sitting on the shelf for years. I keep telling Tyler, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna grab all the good stuff off the shelf that's still there. And I'm gonna see if they'll do like $2 a piece, and I'll pay, I'll tell them I'm gonna pay in cash. I'll give them the hard sell about resurfacing and having to clean the stuff and see if they take it. Because they've got these games priced between, $3 and $10. So the guy comes over, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of interested in all these games. They're scratched, they need to be resurfaced. I gotta clean them, test them, make sure it works. If I give you $2 a piece cash, can we make a deal? He said, absolutely. So this is what we got. I got Suzuki Super Bikes 2. Okay, I'm gonna put this in my collection. I'm always looking for good racing games or fun, intuitive racing games. So I'm gonna give this one a try and see if it's any good. $2, it was complete, very nice. Hot Shots Golf 3. This one will be resold. It's about $10. So we paid $26 for everything, by the way. Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. With the manual, I don't like that they did this during the PS2 era, the black and white manuals. You made a color cover art. You made a color cover disc. Give me a color manual. But yeah, so that'll be resold. This is unfortunate, you know, cover art's all in terrible condition, all ripped up. The case is in horrible condition. However, the disc will just need a light resurfacing, and that disc will be good to go. And I test them all before I sell them, but yeah, we'll resell that disc. And of course, everybody that grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s remembers Brandon's Security Device Enclosed game. This is the rare silver case variant. And somebody put a copy of Tony Hawk Underground in there. Those little shits. So, yeah. MotoGP, another game that I got a lot of motorcycle racing games because I played Motorcycle GP for the Game Boy Advance this year. So I'm going to try some more motorcycle games. Motorcycle GP2. The graphics on that actually look really nice for Xbox, you know, 6th generation. Tetris Worlds. Reckless, the Yakuza missions, Amped 2. It looks like this one's actually a pretty decent seller. And I was like, why? Like SSX and Amped. And I look on the back and it says over 300 fresh new indie songs, right? So wasn't there I'm not an Xbox guy, so one of you are gonna have to clue me in on this. Wasn't there a way where you could put in a disc like this in the original Xbox? And then with these songs, you could like download them from the disc onto the hard drive, and you can listen to this while you're playing other games. Is that something that the original Xbox is capable of doing? Got the hiccups now. We're gonna die. Last few games here. Everybody should have this in your collection if you collect 6th gen consoles, whether it's PS2, GameCube, or Xbox. This is 007, Everything or Nothing. This is an incredible game. It's its own Bond story. It's got all the voice actors, Shannon Elizabeth, Pierce Brosnan, who else is in this thing? Judi Dench, Willem Dafoe, like, yeah, music from Maya. Remember Maya, the hip hop artist and R&B artist from back in the day? This is the best Bond game. I said what I said. This is the best James Bond game. Brute Force, only on Xbox, that'll be a seller. Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, that'll be a reseller. And then for whatever reason, Bruce Lee Quest of the Dragon, this goes for like 15, 20 bucks. So that's half of my money back right there. Now they do have a case where they have like cartridge-based games and some of their higher end games. And Ben and Craig work there. I'm like, hey, can I go through your Nintendo games? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. So you go over there, you open the drawer, you know. Copy of Xanadu, which is actually like Xanadu, but the FA is the Famicom version or something. So it's actually just Xanadu. $6 on that, but you know how it is. Hey, you got $6 on this. Would you do 5 and pay in cash? Of course. So got Xanadu for $5. I already have a copy of this, but I figure I can throw this in the trade show bin, and you know, if somebody has a $10 to $12 game or something, if they want to trade and they want a nice, because I'll clean this up and test it. Pins are nice and white, so it doesn't look like it was used much. Somebody wants to swap, we can swap. And then they had this, I probably shouldn't have bought it. I paid a little bit more for it. Super Mario 64, it was $20, but I thought I'm gonna clean this up, test it, you know, do the board picks, put it on Facebook Marketplace for $35. And the first person that says, will you take 30 for it? I will, I'll sell it to them, make $10. And that chips away at what we spent on the day. Anyway, I gotta get stuff cleaned up. I think Tyler's coming over tomorrow. He's got a dead copy of Wrath of Cortex on PS2. So I'll grab the disc resurfacer. We'll start resurfacing these discs, and then we will get them either in the collection or on Marketplace or on the eBay store. I've got DVD, VCR combo to worry about. Check those Legos, make sure they're all there. But anyway, a lot of work. We still got this poster back here. The game area is becoming a mess. Anyway, what have you guys been picking up? Make sure you leave a comment down below. What did you think of the Nintendo Direct? Like I said, I wasn't overly impressed with it, but it is what it is, you know. Make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on that. Okay. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share on social media. Don't forget to bang that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of your CM retro gaming goodness. Guys, take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next one.